The Morgan Report with David Morgan. Discover how to build and protect your wealth at themorganreport.com.
David Morgan of themorganreport.com for the week ending 18 October 2024. Well, what can I say? I'm not really going to make this a very long one because silver did a huge move on Friday, up about 6% and up over $2. And it is the talk of the silver community. I'll show you a few things on Twitter. But before I leave this page, just want to remind everybody that you can get our free updates by going to themorganreport.com. All right, we're looking at the Morgan Report Twitter page, which is at SilverGuru22. I'm going to start off with gold. Gold rose to over 27.27. The precious metals rallied higher despite a stronger dollar, higher real interest rates, lower crude oil, and record highs in equities, seemingly impervious to these other regularly negative forces. So it moves on. Gold futures saw huge volumes of trades kick in. Now, this is in the paper markets, and this is institutional investors coming in. The retail market, I've said many times over the last couple of months, is really dead. Moving forward on my Twitter feed here, I'm reading Judy Shelton's book, Good as Gold. Fascinating read. I'm into the third chapter, and she has a lot to say, and I can hardly wait to finish the book. She does make a very strong case for free market principles, sound money, and freedom. And so far, so good, Judy. Reposted this. This came out of the Silver Manifesto. Scoremore posted it up on what the ratios were in earlier times, ancient times, you could say, where like the gold-silver ratio is 2.5 to 1. And a lot of times for centuries, from the 13th century through to almost the 19th century, the gold-silver ratio never got above 20. And you can see a lot of times here it was in the 10, 7, 14 range. Someone asked on Twitter, where do we get these numbers? From a lot of different sources, but one of the best sources is Silver Bonanza by the late, great Jim Blanchard III and my friend Franklin Sanders. They co-authored that book. So if you're interested in getting more information, that was the motivation for me to write the Silver Manifesto with Chris Marchese, because that Silver Bonanza is quite a compendium of silver and gold and covers the markets from the physical market all the way through options or options on futures. And I want to do something similar. And that's what, again, gave me the impetus to write the Silver Manifesto. So I'm just going to scroll through a few of these that I either posted or reposted. Bob Coleman, friend, hedge fund manager, licensed manager. And he always has some good information. The ETFs, as I've said, they're starting to see, a lot of, not a lot, but more interest in the institutions coming into the ETPs, exchange traded products. Eric's brought just an interview. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'll get to it later in the weekend. This is talking about $600 silver. I did an interview with one of the best known silver, the 600 number. You can read between the lines if you know who that is. Most of you will. And what was interesting on shadowstats.com, the day I did that interview with him, and it hosted by Jean-Claude of Beyond Mystic, I looked it up, and the silver price on an inflation-adjusted basis, according to Shadow Stats, was exactly 600. I kind of found that interesting. And I will be speaking with many at the investment conference. It's a 50-year anniversary for the New Orleans conference. And I just referenced a minute ago that James Blanchard, who started that conference, now Brian London does it. But it's going to be a heck of a show. They always are, but I think the 50th anniversary will be something special, and I'm honored to be selected to be one of the speakers, and also have a workshop. The last one I'm going to talk about from the Twitter account is this one from Tavi. He always puts out good stuff. And you can see silver production with Mexico and Peru combined, what kind of fall off we've had. And that's a pretty steep decline. It's not as steep as the ramp up in production. It's falling off at a slower pace, but still falling off rather rapidly. So last thing I'll say is, as I said earlier, we saw a record high in silver for the last 12 years or so. Quite a move. And the question always comes up, is it a fake out or a breakout? Actually, it's too early to tell, but there's so much momentum. There's such a large move. really the 32.50 was a breakout point. We're almost $1 above that, or actually $1 above that or more slightly. So there's a lot of room to come down in the next couple trading sessions that still remain above the breakout point. So time will tell. Certainly silver has a lot less resistance above 33. So the ability for silver to climb more rapidly to a higher paper price should be actually easier at this point going forward. There will be some corrections along the road, no doubt, and some will probably be big ones and scary ones, enough to shake out the timid bulls. Nonetheless, the idea of a bull market is to ride that bull just as long and strong as you can. That's it for this week. I'll be back with you next week with another weekly perspective from themorganreport.com.